If you guys are curious why I restarted the stream, it's because I put the wrong details again, and it screws up the stream title and stuff when you start with the wrong data. So I wanted to just wipe it and make the slate clean. Anyway, I'll just start now. Welcome back to another At the Ends of Eras game development stream. This is the wrong thing. Why is this open? Hang on, I need E. I'll use this folder. So, we have a to-do list of things that I want to do before I open up the game for playtesting. And I'll probably do it on the, probably just in the Open World Jam server in like an unlisted itch.io page. And that way I can get feedback and let people who are really interested in the game play it. Though I don't think it's just ready for people who don't know what the game is already to jump in. I don't think it's quite there yet and they wouldn't have much fun. Oh, and this is the Evergrace 2 soundtrack. I haven't played this game. And typically I try to only get audio or games that I've played before. But the only game I've been playing recently is Elden Ring. And honestly, I'm not that big into like big orchestral soundtracks. Like that's probably very, very controversial, but like the Souls games, there's not really any sort of part of the soundtrack that really like captures me. Especially compared to like weird stuff like this. You know, like this sample heavy like pseudo rock, or I guess not pseudo rock, but like heavily rock influenced like weird chanting and stuff. That's much more interesting to me. But alright. Admittedly, it is a bit much for background music. I know what I'm gonna do. Chunks. I'm gonna just make everything mechanically sound, because I need to do a bunch of stuff with how the this particular song is going absolutely nuts in my brain. Okay, it's calmed down. Actually, you know what I'm going to do instead? I'm going to fade this out gracefully. That was the graceful fade out. That was the closest I could get to a graceful fade out. Maybe my brain's just not into music today. Because I think I've listened to that soundtrack before on stream. But anyway, I need to do a bunch of stuff. First thing is, let's just make it so the dialogue won't match, because there's a lot of dialogue telling you that you need 3 capacitors to get this thing working. So I'll just delete these. So it's like, boom. Now you only need 1 capacitor to open this, and the player can use the others for whatever else I do with them. And so eventually I'll need to change Armstrong's dialogue. So let's put that into writing and story, maybe? Where's the tutorial stuff? Oh, I just arbitrarily decided that 12 capacitors was going to be that what's scattered throughout the world. Okay, I guess that's done then. Disclaimer that the story isn't done. And I'll put that in the itch.io page. I don't want to add like temporary stuff to the game. Sound effects for when enemies are damaged and killed, that'll be important, but I don't, it's just, I have to source the sounds, and so it's just like listening to a bunch of audio and then be like, I don't really like that. I don't even know what I'm going to use for sound effects for a lot of these things. But okay, test races. No, I need this pistol level. That's going to be the epic content that we make today, because there is, in this world, this area, which is a little platforming segment, getting up to a thing, and all of it is bad content. So let's check it out. Like this elevator can stay, so let's go into here. Oh wait, I guess what I'll do, I'll test to make sure that the, oh, cool, my controller isn't working. I don't know what it is. I don't know why all my things are wrong. So you can get a capacitor from here, and this whole tower just explodes into a million pieces. Spoiler alert. But what I need I also want to change how the music works eventually. Because right now, if you're in a certain radius from an enemy, it triggers the music, but I want it to be that if the enemy is alerted to your position, it starts. Also, I do miss the baked lighting in here. It looked very good. But it's just, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it has like performance implications still. And I'm constantly changing these scenes, so there's like a bunch of stuff that's constantly going out of date, and like it like just fills up the notifications or the error messages and all that. Okay, that's enough of that. I have one capacitor. What? Where? Okay, wow. Also, I've completely janked out this. Oh, okay. I must have saved the level without properly applying the modifiers. Well, okay, before I forget, let's test this. Punk. Yeah, so the game is like begging you basically to complete that tutorial section, because you can just get one of these capacitors from in here. And then it's like, okay, then that gets you access to this, which is sort of like the introduction to the actual story of the game. You hear the hum of machinery. It grows in pitch for several seconds, then winds down. A brassy voice echoes from the walls. Welcome, Jackie. You already know my name? Of course, love. I am the medium, am I not? Are you looking, and you are looking to commune with your mother, correct? So if you'll notice from last time that I've shown this dialogue, I've changed it. It used to be that he started in a different language, but I felt like if it's a brain scanning machine that is like constructing AI from your memories, like it's probably like effectively magic. Like it probably already knows who you are. Also, the door didn't open. Oh, I forgot to activate. Wait, what the hell is this? Oh, it's the visibility plane. Hang on. Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff that's wrong there. All right, let's get some music. I need something much more mild. The Dreaming Sarah soundtrack is pretty good. If it's not at 99% volume. So what I have to do here eventually. Oh wait, this is, god damn it. There we go. And then I have to do GLB export. There we go. That gets that. Then, for some reason, the medium is no longer colliding properly here. So now that's colliding. And then the dialogue did not trigger opening the door. Which I think, how did I do that again? I think it was like an event for activating the medium. Because that dialogue did I activate scanner? So it's event activate scanner, I think. I mean, that seems correct. Is there like a signal? Excuse me. Emit signal event tag. Okay. So that should get... What should that get? How do I have this? How do I work this? Oh, okay. This dialogue zone, I think needs... Oh, it has this the medium as its speaker. And then that means that when we are in the dialog viewer, if the main speaker has method tag, call tag, so that should do that and then clear power. And so that should add all this. So let's do like print. Let's do that. Alright, which door has no animation? What is this being called? Oh, this is being called before ready because this... Hang on. Wait. I guess this has to be before these. I think. There's a lot of things. Every single time I change something, it breaks something. In like the most bizarre ways. Like why, for example, like this was already a bug. This has been a bug for like months. Like if I have something that activates a door before the doors, this function is called first before these doors have been like added to the scene properly. So it's like, how has that not come up earlier? Because that's been like, I've known that that's been an issue for like a month. Probably more, actually. Okay, so the machinery does this, blah, blah, blah. Yes, with mum. There we go. So that door opens. Very dark in here, very spooky. There's this. I'm surprised all these lights actually work simultaneously. Oh, this is a... Hang on. Did I screw up where that... So I think I screwed up this shader. What if I just do 0 mesh deformation? I think that's a bit too soon, that animation there. Okay, but this is something. Oh, also, do I not have... I have a stand-up animation there. So we have none of that. Talked equals 0. Play animation sit sad. Play animation sad. Stand sad. Let's have this up here. Or like here. What are the errors? Globa. Invalid base name. Was that this one then? Oh yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure that I can now do this. Eventually I'd like to have like just a special tag for like one-time dialogue options, because basically you can only ask this if you haven't asked it before, which is what this not mum slash or medium slash personality is. But hang on, I need to get tea. Let's see. So I wanted this to come out later. I don't think there's going to be an animation there. Hmm. I don't think she would actually do this at all, honestly. I think it's more interesting if she's just sort of standing there. I'll leave this animation for a more, like, pivotal moment. Because I don't have a big budget for animations, so I gotta make them count. Because I was thinking, because that animation of her, like, sitting down sadly is more like for if she has, like, doubts about this. But, like, she comes into this knowing that the medium only works on memories, so it is more than she expected already, because it has, like, a vague silhouette of a person. Though even this is actually, like, this is a bit too much because it's just the actual mesh that I use for her, just with a filter on it, or a shader on it. What I would like is to have a custom mesh that's, like, much more vague, like just like a part of the face. Or much fainter. Yeah, something like that. But anyway, that's sort of like the introduction for the player to this story of, like, okay, so now, like, the name of the game is you have to run around and you have to learn about this place and the people here and hopefully your mother directly in order to feed this simulation and build it up. Alright, so let's... What else did I need to do? I guess that's good enough for now. Let's see if... Let's make sure this works. No, I talked to her. Okay, so that's busted as well. Talked, stat. So Armstrong is part of intro? Yeah, there's a slight, well, oh, whoops. Let's see. Talked, stat. So sometimes the speaker stat is a path that begins with a slash, and other times it is not. So what I'll do is for s equals if s dot begins with slash or, well, no, return talked plus s, else return talked slash plus s. There we go. And now I'll need to go through all of these, so let's... Yeah, because I did it wrong. Or I accepted that bad behavior in some places, and I'm just not going to now. And I better not... Or I'd like to fix it now before I make like hundreds of dialogue trees. Yeah, because thankfully I think there's only like 2 places where I used it. And in a lot of other places I use custom stats. Like these are specific for like if you talk to a particular character at a particular place. Alright, well that was easy. I was worried that that would be like a big refactor. But thankfully I hadn't used that awful, awful system. Except in a few places, so. Let's try this again. And I think my methodology with the story in this game is going to be, if people don't want to read, they just don't need to read. Like I'm not gonna lose sleep if they don't want to read. If they mash A through the dialogue or even press B. You can even just press B and exit any dialogue at any point. Like I can just, boom. Because I just want a story to be here. If I want, like, I only want to write things that I think are going to be good or interesting to read. I don't want to add stuff for the sake of like, oh, the game needs more content, quote unquote. It's like, no, the game needs good content. I don't care if it's like half an hour long, as long as it's interesting. Okay. So let's say all right. Let's see if Armstrong works now. Interesting. I don't remember deliberately making Jackie talk first here, but that's actually really, I like that. Like she just runs up to him and then says, I talked to my mom. And I may cut this stuff. I have a habit of just, I think what I have to do is just write a bunch of stuff to like get the details aligned in my head and then like cull whatever I think is not interesting. Because there's sort of like a setup and punchline to everything in storytelling. Like, I used the same idea for my, I used to do like entertainment writing, like comedy speeches for competitively in high school. But basically, you know, there's things that set up interesting moments, like jokes specifically, but I think it applies everywhere. And that setup has a cost because it's typically not inherently interesting. And then there's a payoff to it that is interesting. You know, it's the joke, it's the big emotional turn, it's all that stuff. And so it's important to consider sort of the economy of like, is your setup worth the payoff? Like, does it take too much setup to provide, like, to get too little payoff? And I think this is more just a bunch of world building where it's like, it's explaining that their names like are 4 parts. I think what saves it, honestly, is I like the idea that Armstrong isn't this guy's real name. His actual name is Ariston, and he just likes Armstrong more. Yeah. I think I'll keep that little name trivia for now. There's another character who does it as well, and I think I might cut it there and maybe just like really truncate it because you don't need to be explained twice that characters in this world have 4 names. Let's see. Oh yeah, if you mash A. Maybe I should put like, maybe I should make this game mashing friendly. Like, have like the most abbreviated option at the top at all times. But maybe later. And that little thing unlocks that. Oh, this is another thing that's not synced to the, or that doesn't block the camera. Let's see, so now I could do the rather long journey up to the plateau. So hopefully it's pretty clear to the player what the big plateau with the tree tower is. You know, like there's not that many landmarks in this game, or at least they're like, you know, it's pretty easy to figure out where things are relative to each other because you can see the entire game. Which honestly, I've been sort of going back and forth on that design because it does make the world feel smaller to, you know, have clear sight lines across the entire place, but it makes it almost trivial to navigate. Like the map in the game, this is the map. Like, it's just a static image that shows the entire world, and it's like, it doesn't show even where you are, but it's like, oh, it's easy. Like, I'm here. Like, there's the tree. There's the big mountain. There's the tree. There's the big mountain. And eventually I would like to make it sort of like a pen drawing. Though, that'll have to wait until there's like more landmarks in the game. Well, I guess it doesn't. It has to wait until the terrain is finalized more. Because I can always just like, you know, erase a tiny chunk and add a little thing. I can't, well, I could, but I don't want to erase massive chunks of it. Wow, that, this guy was a lot weaker than I thought. Also, why is he... One, why is he a floor? Two, why is he like this? I'm going in circles. I'm almost 100% certain I've fixed this bug before. 1, 3, 17, 1, 2. So I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it's supposed to be. 1, 3, 4, 17, 1. So I was able to kind of fling myself off of him, which doesn't make any sense. Because these guys should not be considered moving platforms. I had a whole, like, thing where I fixed that. But okay. There's numerous routes for a player with base stamina to get up to here, and I suspect one of them is, well, I guess not. Alright. Well, I know how to get up there. Is 88 high up? No, it's low down. I think this game would be so cool if it had like $700,000 poured into it. So, you know, if Tim Sweeney's interested, you know, he can give me a call. I'll make it a 30-year exclusive. I don't give a shit. I've actually been thinking about what sort of deals I would accept. Because, you know, there's things like this isn't like an IP that I'm like desperate to have or something like that. So I'd be willing to do things like, you know, like sell the IP rights or whatever. Because I think it would be more interesting to just have like a complete experience, a more rounded version of this game with some money poured into it. But then I'd probably have to quit my job, and my stock awards haven't vested yet. It's still another like 4 or 5 years for that. And you know, that's the real concern here. My tech stocks. We all know that tech is in a great place right now, and it's only getting brighter with age. Though honestly, I am sort of suspecting that at some point soon, the tech industry is going to realize that programmers are not any smarter than like electricians and plumbers, and they're going to start instead of raising the compensation of electricians and plumbers because they are skilled labor, they will just lower the wages for tech workers. Because like my job is not significantly harder than my dad's job as an electrician, but I make twice as much as both of my parents combined did. In fact, I make like, I guess it's twice as much. Well, no, it's actually closer to like 3 times as much as my parents combined. Because my dad, well, I guess I shouldn't talk, or shouldn't puff it up too much, because it is Seattle dollars as well. So it's like, you know, cut it in half, and that's basically like money everywhere else in the U.S. Okay, I don't know if this intro section is still terribly interesting. I don't think these are very good. Like, these were my first attempt at shooting, or at platforms that you shoot to do something with, and they're not good. Like, they're kind of... It's such a subtle change. What I might do is replace this one. So I think this is kind of fun. But let's start going through this and actually, like, changing things. Because now I have, excuse me, a much better system with these target flowers. Can I get this thing? Hello? Oh, do I have it? Because these are much more interesting. Because they actually, like, you can't walk on them when they're closed. So instead of, like, shooting... Oh, right, the animations don't play until, Okay, so it does start off, though. So hopefully the player, like, notices that the pistol targets it. Oh, I forgot. Your spin kick also damages it. So this has already gotten significantly harder. I'll make it easy for the player. They just have to jump from one to the other. They don't have to spin kick, they don't have to do anything fancy with it. Also, I need some like ammo pickups around here. So let's put and a fountain. Because this game has evolved a lot since I was last actually like using this place, but okay. Crate. I don't know why this crate wouldn't have been looted though. Maybe somebody like actually like put the bullets in here afterwards. Because this stuff has been here for like hundreds of years, and there's an entire industry of like this region's major export is melting down the scrap copper into like productive things like wires and stuff. But alright. Random ammo pickup. This deactivates on death. I should not. I made a horrible mistake one time of hiding a bunch of gizmos in one scene, and now like half the scenes in the game they die, or half the scenes in the game they don't show up. It's like how I changed the view distance for one scene, and now it's always wrong. Every single scene. It's like, no matter what context I want, when I want to be able to see things from far away, the view is really close in. And when I want to see things really close in, it's really far. And it's such a failure of trying to anticipate what the user wants, where it would have been much better if it just didn't try to do anything of the sort like that. But okay. Enough of me whining. Let's get this here. Let's get some scrap. Because this is looking a little too clean and orderly. Man, this whole thing is one chunk. I should have made smaller chunks. I should have started from the beginning with the dynamic chunks. But anyway, that's enough of that. And also, I'm going to get the rest of my tea. Did the game crash? Did I even start it? that's a new one. It's never done that before, where it just crashes like while I'm typing. It either crashes instantly at startup or it crashes after I've teleported somewhere. This game is like getting less and less acceptable as like a product. But that crash, I'm pretty sure I know what it is. But I don't know why it only suddenly started appearing. Okay, it's getting more serious now. It's like, now it's getting like very, very frequent in this specific area. Can I just teleport? Oh, I can just teleport to 87 now that I've thought about it. Because I forgot that, I forgot that was the chunk I was working on. I was thinking of 85, which is like in the middle there, and 97, which is also there. But obviously, I'm literally working on chunk 87, I can just teleport to it. But okay, I'm pretty sure the bug that I'm experiencing, it seems to specifically occur when when removing signals from an object that is deleted. So I suspect that because signals are something that happens across objects, I'm suspecting it's because multiple objects are being deleted at the same time and their signals are interacting with each other. So when it deletes the signals from one, it's affecting the structure of the other one. And because it's happening at the same time, there's no way to null check it. But I don't know how to fix that. I may have to do I mean, I guess I could try making a mutex again. That would bloat the memory because it would be 80 bytes for each one of these, but I don't know. It is kind of obscene that it's 80 bytes for a mutex. That feels like something where it should be a simple opaque handle to some operating system construct. Oh, right, this is a moving platform that takes a long time, so this is a bad system. This is just a bad I mean, I would no, actually, I have a much better idea. So there is let's go to chunk 87. Ew. What chunk do I need? I think this is right at the border of 87 and 75? Or is it at the border, or is it this one? Oh, right. I forgot. I have the preview for 75 up. Somewhere in here. Don't I? Why is this in the middle? That's dumb. Also, I'm going to make a zone for this intro level. Alright, well, sorry to do this, but I'm going to use the restroom as well. Oh yeah, and I mentioned my pay compared to my parents' pay. I should also mention that I grew up in rural Nebraska, so it's not quite like So, or it's a very different economy. Because there's like, I'm pretty sure the property values of the area are literally like 1/10 the value of property in Washington or the Seattle area. Like, I'm pretty sure somebody was renting a house for literally $200 in my hometown, like just a few years ago. And housing is like literally 1/10 the cost. What is this? What? Huh? How did I do that? Oh well. So I think what I'm going to do here is, instead of a moving platform, because moving platforms in general are just not fun in platforming games, or in games, I'm going to make something. Let's not save that. I think it's going to be a platform that comes out of the wall that the player can't stand on. So like, and let's do a little bit of like warbling and bending. See, I'm not a fan of this song. Actually, I should make this, so this is going to slide into another object. Oh wait, I did that wrong. So this will be like kinematic, and basically there'll be a little animation to spit it out. And this will be I should find more games like Dreaming Sarah and Yume Nikki. I love that sort of exploration vibe. Because Dreaming Sarah is it's sort of a decent Yume Nikki style platformer where it's more about exploration, though it is very short. I think it's completable in like 2 hours or so. Well, I think I took like 3 hours, but you know, but it's like it has much simpler sort of maze elements, where Yume Nikki is kind of like a labyrinth to end all labyrinths. Like it's like I mean, the title screen of Yume Nikki literally contains a maze. Okay, so that's what this is gonna do. And I have a thing that I can put on this so that the player can't stand on this part. Admittedly, kind of dishonest game design. What I'll also do as well, now that I've done that or said that, let's make it so that this comes forward. So that way it's too steep for the player to stand on. And then I guess I can just do, like, just continue that. So it's like, even if it goes this far out, there's like some machinery in this part of it so that the player can't stand on it. So then it's somewhat less dishonest. So this will be a holstered platform. And eventually there's just going to be some simple, or instead of that switch activating a moving platform, it'll just pull out a bunch of these holstered platforms so that the player can use those. Let's see, environment entities. There we go. It took me a bit for my brain to like reactivate. Yeah, I guess one is fine. So this will have the door material built in, and it'll have some corroded copper. I guess this will collide there, and this will be So I need to check this flower platform. Because it has groups. Don't stand. That's what I called it. So I want it to go all the way out to like here. And I'll have it sort of do a little bit of like a I want it to be like here, and then it goes out to there. Sort of like shake a little bit. Could be better. Oh well. Oh, and also, I guess I don't want these to all have the same time span. So what I'll do is export bool speed Okay, so if and randomize speed equals min speed max speed. Is it playback speed? Yeah. So now, these will be the only thing with randomized speed, so that way they're just slightly different. And then I don't have to think about it anymore. And instead of that lousy, no good moving platform, all of these will be holstered platforms. They're very small, now that I'm looking at them. And you know what? Let's put a flower. This will also be off. I was thinking of making it on just to trip up the player, but that'd be mean. And I've also decided to be more generous with saves than I used to be. Because I realized, you know, I have a system for placing checkpoints through a flag system, but I've recently played the game Demon Turf, which has a very similar system, and it made me realize that I don't like it. I don't really gain anything from having to place my own checkpoints other than forgetting to place them and then having to do a bunch of stuff again. Okay, let's make sure this works. Yeah. That gives me that. Where's my... Oh, I know. I did this badly. This rail cart now needs to have a new animation, I guess. Ugh. I'll just move it back to here. Oh, did I ever actually check if those targets work? Okay, so that should really, you know, drill into the player. You shoot things, and then you can platform on them. You know, multiple different variations of that concept. Also, eventually I should figure out if I want the player to be able to save when they're in combat. Wait, can that guy even damage him? I don't think crawlies can even damage, hang on. Another thing. What's your attack hurt box? 3 and 4. Why 3 and 4? Okay, but that does mean he should be able to damage other NPCs. Yeah, and eventually I want to... Oh yeah, eventually I want to bring back this little deathknap friend, because now I have a system for actually, like, using multiple items. I think that'd be cool. But okay, so he is in this lair. Maybe his damaged objects. Okay, yeah, so every state can't... I don't think these guys can attack death nets. That's unfortunate. I'll have to figure out why that is, because I added infighting for a reason. Oh yeah, now I forgot to... I'll save and quit. I forgot... Oops, excuse me. I just suddenly... now I need to attach these to this. And this will just be the regular signal, so it'll be toggled. Then these holstered platforms will toggle with that switch. Oh wait, whoops. And I don't think this switch is persistent, so that means that the game will crash instantly. No. I don't know what I can do. Maybe I have to make like a global deleting everything from signals mutex. That would suck. Are these the same speed? No, they're very slightly different. And also these things can come out further. They need to be about there. Oh. Yeah, I'll really need to fix this part. Well, I guess the best answer... Well, actually... This slope is unwalkable, no matter what the actual slope is. It's a little bit dishonest because the player will think that they're able to walk on it like other things. But at least because it is a slope, it won't be like the player is sliding even though it's clearly flat ground. I can at least make it not do that. Okay, so now... Yeah, I don't think the player will be terribly confused by that. Oh, I almost completely flubbed it there. So now we're in the next area. And this one, originally I had a kind of an interesting idea where the player has to get above a switch to activate it because the switches are positional. Like, you can't activate... I'll show. Just because I think it was a mechanic that I designed for a different game that was much more puzzle-oriented. But I think it's still kind of cool. You can't deactivate this switch from this angle. You have to be this angle. So you have... like, your positioning actually matters. And I think for my next platformer, I want to really emphasize that particular mechanic because it was, well, next as in previous, the one that I was working on before I took a break from Gamedev to do more Gamedev on an even larger game. But yeah. I think I'll use a similar thing here. I think it's 75. Yeah. Though there is kind of a jank bit because it's chunk 74 is right here. The last of my tea at room temperature. That was horrible. I want something that feels like a thing that could be fun to platform on, that could plausibly be attached here. See, I don't have the faintest idea why they would have attached this sideways to the wall here. Maybe it was part of some larger structure. But I'm gonna make it so that there's a switch right in here, I think. And the player has to flip it down. But it's too high from here, and when you get up here, you have to go all the way around. Let's see. Let's see if I've done this right. No, okay, so I can't hit it from there. That's good. And the player can just barely get up here without without any stamina upgrades. And then that hits that. And then that should activate a thing. Okay, and this is cooler than the rocks were. Though I think the player can just climb here? No. Maybe. one, I think this stuff should be its own area. Zone, rubble, maybe? Because I want this to be a thing. Then I want this to be a thing. So this will be where all this stuff is attached. And then this is its own thing. Probably without this rock here as well. And since nothing important is lost by that, yeah, so now we have much more manageable, like, the bounding boxes on all this stuff. So that way, like, if the camera is there, none of that even has to check if it's visible. Did I put this in the wrong place? Zone cliff. What? This should be so simple. It should just go like this. Boom. There we go. And this one I'm going to leave them open, just to kind of trip up the player. And hopefully the player at this point has found out how to reset the game by holding back, because otherwise they'll probably not be enjoying this part very much. I may need to make other tutorials for it, because there used to be in the distance there that tower. Wait, where the hell is Tower 113? It should be part of the distance terrain, but I think that's something else. I think sometimes stuff just doesn't load in. Because I swear that's the wrong thing. I need like a... I have an idea. I know, a new usable. New script. How do these work? Icon. Let's try this for now. Function use player.zoom zoom. And let's do function think that's what it is. Unequip. Basically, I'm gonna give the player a telescope item. Because if I want to see things in the distance, maybe other people will. So let's add this to cam rig, actually. I think the player has a camera. That's... There it is, yeah. Because I want the scripts for, like... Let's do, like, function start, zoom, pass, function stop, zoom, pass, function toggle. So this will be... Good thing I was tempted to add FOV stuff to here, but I think I'm going to reserve that for just the telescope now. So it'll be constant tween, no, yeah, tween time FOV. FOV normal equals, what is the player's FOV by default? Instead of doing that, on ready var FOV normal, and then constant FOV zoomed equals like 20. Oh, I already added zoomed. Set. Let's do float or var desired FOV. If zoomed, FOV equals, I guess I can just do equals FOV zoomed, if zoomed, else FOV normal. Then let's have a separate tween for that, so it'll be like a zoom tween. I don't need every tween controlled individually. Okay, so FOV tween dot stop all or remove all. Camera FOV. Time. Tween time FOV. Ease. Okay, so now what it should be is if I get the telescope, alright, and also I need to fix that because I don't want to show the item in the left, that's just when you're choosing an item, but also more importantly, my FOV. Do I fiddle with that anywhere else? I don't think so. I should have saved, but that's okay. What am I doing wrong here? Oh wait, I think it's because can use returns false, I think by default. Yeah, I'll just do function can use return true. Yeah, because that update in equipment is for if an item is only like one time, or like drains your ammo for it. I am seeing it here. It's just not updating the camera's FOV. Oh, it's because I don't have... God damn, tweens are so, like, verbose. Oh wait, I have to FOV tween. Because, like, I have to remove everything, then I have to interpolate the property, then I have to start it. Like, there's... I mean, I get why, because it allows you to interpolate multiple properties at the same time, but it's also just... And it's crashing again. And I forgot to save again. Okay, now let's save. Now, look at that. And as you can clearly see, there is no white tower over there. Let's see, I need more zoom, I think. Let's do FOV zoom of like 10. Also, if zoomed, it'll be like a third the sensitivity. So where is that rotation done then? Process, yeah, it's all in process. So let's do aim equals this. Then if zoomed aim zoom SNS factor. And that could be a setting I configure. And this is a bit funky, because it does mean that the player can use the telescope and do it independently. So like, you know, it's an obviously like jank, or it's a bit jank, obviously, because you can then zoom in with the gun and the telescope separately. But I think that's kind of fun. And this lets you see distant lands, all sorts of incredible sights to see. And I can put a little graphic on it, a little circle, and I can even like hide the player. Or even move the camera to where the player is. And like override the zoom controls and other things. Alright, that's cool. Where was I? Right, I was supposed to be doing stuff with this. I was supposed to test these platforms to make sure that the player doesn't like... Let's see. They're too high. All that fiddling in my platforms were too high the whole time. Also, I don't know if it's actually terribly interesting to have these, like, not enabled. Right, I need to show the player that's a thing that happens when they, like, jump. So that gets them up here. And then hopefully they notice that little switch there. I might add a light or a bug or something on it. I'll add a couple bugs to it just for intrigue. Also, I think the player could just climb up these ribs in here to get up high enough. And if they do that, that's fine. It's a little bit harder than otherwise. Oh, this. I should probably just use arg toggled by default, since that way I don't have to deal with insta toggled in this one at all. I can just use this one consistently everywhere. And that way, if eventually I wanted to make that switch persistent, I wouldn't have to refactor anything. Oh well. And a lot of these platforms are redundant, but that's kind of, by choice. That opens up. Then the player can... Ooh. So that just like obliterates my stamina. That's kind of a fiddly mechanic, that spin kick in the air. Let's see then. What do I want here? I'll just do a rock. I've done enough like little platforms and things. Actually, I know what would be neat. A flower. With a crawler on it. Okay. He went nomad. And I think he got deleted in that process. Also, it's fun how this error started coming up. Oh, cool, that's void. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Like, I'm pretty sure this just simply didn't return a value before, and now it does. Oh well. I have the right to complain about all these changes. And here, I'm getting into the issue that I've had before where the chunk's visibility, what the fuck? Closed is inside tree. No. No. It is inside the tree and it's not null. That's not correct. It was this. Let's review. Oh, I know what it is. It's because I reparented it while I was doing things or in the scene, so that way when it was ready again, or so that way it was out of date basically. So yeah, that's kind of an interesting part where the player has to learn that they can start climbing from a steeper slope if they're on the ground versus in the air. Because that's the interaction that's here. They wall cling there, but they can still climb it if they start on the ground. Which, admittedly, I'm still not quite sure on as a mechanic, but I do know that it's kind of necessary to make platforming not completely trivial. Because otherwise the player can just... Well, because otherwise a player has a massive edge because they can just do this and then start climbing from there. So limiting it somewhat gives me more control over the actual like climbing challenges. Because otherwise it's based on how much airtime can the player get, or how much height can the player get before they even start climbing. Also, I like that happens to be the like perfect distance for a roll jump. Though I don't like how the guy disappears. Which I'm going to go to oh wait, I'm going to go to enemy. I'm going to temporarily disable nomad, so it'll be like or temp debug nomad. And this way this won't print every single frame. Oh wait, hang on. Trying to assign value of type nil to type bool. Oh. Right, it's one of those languages. Well, I guess a lot of languages don't like defining variables in terms of later defined variables. Well, actually no. A lot of them do allow that in members at least. I keep jumping there. It's a very counterintuitive mechanic. But okay, I do think this is a cool little sequence here. Oh wait, this guy's gone still. What? Why is he gone? Where did he go? Is he like intersecting with that geometry? And like being flung off into the distance? Like where is he? There he is. So what is it like if any of my NPCs are like, or enemies are even slightly intersecting bodies, do they just like fling off into the distance infinitely fast or something? Okay, and you can just jump to that. You don't need to worry about the spin kick doing its weird thing. Oh my god. Why are all of these things so screwed up? Wait, what? Dot dot. These. What? Okay. Hang on. I need to go to... So, I think Godot has helpfully made it so that any time that I do anything with these, they're busted. Hang on. So what are these? What? Why would... Okay, why was one? Why was a single one? Just one. Like, I've reparented all of these multiple times, so why was it that just one decided that reparenting it breaks it? Elden Ring was way more fun than this. Way less frustrating, honestly. Also, I do think if I want to actually stream as content, I should probably do my idea that I had where I just play bad games on purpose. See, that's lame. That guy should know that he's on a platform. Because I want it to be that the player shoots the platform and he falls, but if you just shoot him and he gets aggroed and then he falls, whatever. I'll eventually make that work as a mechanic. I think that's just not the time for it. That's just a place where the player has to shoot the guy. Oh right, this is that's an interesting little area. Alright, well, I'm gonna use the restroom again, and I'll be back soon. I'm back. Now, about Elden Ring. I mentioned in the Elden Ring streams, but I don't think many people watch those, that I like Elden Ring, but everybody streams it. Anybody can stream video games. Anyone can just stream themselves playing a video game that they like. So it's not really bringing anything into the table as, like, content. But at the same time, I have to decide if I care. You know, do I care if I'm making, like, good content? Like, I don't really make this good content. For example, like, this stream is just me working and talking to myself because I like talking to myself. Let's see. So here, I guess I can put this in 75 as well, if I'm already putting stuff in 75, because then it can load a little bit, it'll be unloaded properly. Because 74 is going to have so much stuff in it. This thing is meant to be like a massive thing. Though actually, I might do that thing where I make it a custom chunk now that I have that ability, essentially. That'd be pretty cool. I'll have to figure out if I want to do that. Well, yeah, I'll have to decide on that. That could be fun. So at the last little piece of this area, let's put a random ammo spawn. Oh, I just realized both of these areas actually are going to have a lot of stuff. So it doesn't really matter. This is just some crazy content here. Check this out. Boom. Now it's content. Now there's like, you know, before there wasn't enough stuff in this area, but now there's plenty of stuff in this area. And let's say another one of these palace extensions, I guess. Oh wait, no. I'll put a little house instead. I forgot that's what I actually had here before. And honestly, I didn't really need to delete all of the content that was here, because I think there was some just perfectly adequate stuff. Oh well. Because I think here there's like 3 huts. And there's just some guys on a roof. I mean, I feel so much more equipped now to actually like make fun content. Like, I think that's been like the biggest area of improvement for me throughout this thing. recently at least, is just like making levels that are actually like challenging particular things instead of just like random nonsense the player has to deal with. Bug pickup 2 visibility enabler animation player. Bug pickup 4 not found. Oh, it's a bunch of screwed up stuff from reparenting the bug. Oh well. So hopefully when the player gets here, they will not have yet seen the stealth, these cloaked or the cloaked versions of these guys, because this is meant to, well, because up here is where I hope they're introduced to them first. There's an area with a couple of them, but I know. Nah, I won't make them shielded yet. There'll just be a bunch of these guys in here. And I guess I have to be really, really careful about them not intersecting things or else they fly off. I guess I'll just make them fall from the sky. You know what? I think these trees... So I was mentioning also in my Elden Ring stream, it's cool how there's like random objects that like point you in the direction of interesting things. I would love if these trees were pointing towards things, so like that there's something like off in that direction. I'm gonna write that down. Gameplay thing, shallow water, blah blah blah. Context for dialogue. Make I'm gonna put some different music on because now we're looping. Maybe the Hat in Time soundtrack? I'll skip the title screen and a few other ones and go to like here. It's funny, also I've heard so many of these songs in like YouTube videos that it's like they've kind of like become stock music for like YouTube. But okay. I'm also gonna put this here, this here. Yeah, I have too much stuff that I put all together. I should have started from the very beginning by having chunks that loaded in separately, because like I would love for this and this to be two separate things that could load in at different times. Oh well, something for the sequel, I guess. Or for some major rework if I ever do it. I know, this will be the area where I have the flowers that like really encourages the player to shoot enemies that are on the flowers already. And hopefully those guys don't shoot up 1,000 million miles into the air. Yep. I don't get it. I don't get it. The hitbox on hitting things with the spin kick is so generous that it's like a major detriment here. How did I not get that? This brings up a great question as to why I didn't make the hitbox just the full thing. Like, you can hit the very edge of it. You know what, I'm gonna fix that right now. Like, this hitbox should be like there. And I'll just make another one for here. Really what I should do is I should just make both of these have separate signals for like, because there's two separate collision bodies, which is why I didn't make it just send the collision for take damage, but it's also just a bad system. Or at least it's poorly shaped. Oh, oh. Something's going... Oh, it's... Huh. The tree is the collision issue? This branch. That branch specifically. Oh, wait, no, it's... What is that? Okay, so... I'll probably just have to reduce the... Well, then again, I think those trees are, like, massively over-polyed. Are they? Oh, yeah, they're, like, terrible. That's, like, shameful. It's like, what on earth was I doing? Let's see, so I think I moved it to plants. No, I didn't. Alright, foliage. Oh. I was trying to move them into a different folder, but I won't do that now. Subdivision skin, subdivision. Yuck. No wonder it sucks so bad. I do 2 subdivisions. Okay, let's do a decimate after that. Okay, this looks about right. Okay, so that's fine. And those guys are just doing whatever they want. Huh. What was that? So this is kind of a funky platforming challenge. I don't know if I want to... I don't know if I'll keep this like this. Because it is like just a weirdly difficult thing. Oh, come on. Actually, if it's going to be like that, I'll do it like this. Maybe. Actually, I have a much better idea. See, I think I've heard this song a bit too much. It feels like stock music. I need a sound for when those things are hit. Whoa, what was that? That was like... the camera didn't move. Okay, that's kind of a tricky platforming section. But I don't know, I guess that's okay. And then a whole bunch of empty space. I don't know what I'm gonna do here. Something fun eventually. Oh right, and this area is going to be like a whole thing. Like this is going to be like a little miniature town. Because it's going to be like a research station around an observatory at the top of this thing. I think that'll be a good... that would be a good thing to use a custom chunk for. Also, I need to fix my terrain LOD. Okay, but that gets us up here at about 757, so that means that I have officially implemented some basic level design for this gun. I've taught the player how to use a pistol, and they can shoot and do all sorts of things with it. Why did I make it so the player could get so many gems there? That's ridiculous. This place is just overflowing in riches, I guess. Okay, I guess that'll be the actual game dev for now. But I do like just... it's fun to revisit these areas, because I haven't actually played them in a while. Like, this is one of the very oldest areas that's still around, but it was also, I spent a lot of effort on it with what limited like assets I had, and I don't know why I was so unwilling to just make new stuff. Like I cobbled together this whole place out of the existing like 5 models that I had, and it's like I could have just made it out of more. I could have just made more models. Like I make more models over there, which speaking of, I need to texture those. I'll put that on the to-do list. Let's put it before playtesting. Texture stuff. Wave shot level and add goodies. Because I don't think there's any collectibles over there either. There's so much, there's just, I think it's one of those things where it's just, there will be as much work as I can possibly imagine. There will never be a day where I can't imagine more things that I can do. Because I'm already imagining like, well, because I gotta make that thing a level eventually, and I gotta make And I gotta make all the secrets for the secret place, and I gotta make a new equipment system so that you can use melee weapons that have different move sets from your base attacks that have different properties in combination with your other moves. And I have to make a you know, I gotta make human characters, and I gotta make cutscenes. But it's like, I'll just make, I have an idea for the game that's basically as it is now, that is basically whole. So as long as it doesn't fundamentally change the game, I think it's fair game. But if it does, I can just like not do it, and do it in a different game. Alright, I guess that'll be it for today, because now I'm just playing around. And if I'm going to play around, I'll do, I don't know, probably more Elden Ring later tonight. But okay, thanks for stopping by. Hopefully I have this finished pretty soon for playtesting. See you then.